this morning is to show you really quickly how there's a feature in Salesforce that allows you to directly contact people who are contacts. So not volunteers, they're just people who are part of organizations, your contacts, to directly contact them and request them to update their information, which they can do directly into Salesforce. So it's something that you just send them an email and that information comes back into Salesforce without you having to actually do anything, do any typing really, which is kind of a nice feature. Some centres might know about it, others don't. It's been there all along. By the way, I meant to say this training will take about 15 minutes max, maybe 30 minutes max, but about 15 minutes. Okay, so in relation to it, it's called Stay in Touch. And the first thing you actually need to do is set up the message that you're actually going to send to your contacts. So I'll show you that first of all. So under your name on iVol, if you go down to My Settings, okay, and it opens this page. And over on the left-hand side over here, see where my mouse is mousing over, there's Email. If you click on Email, you can go down to My Stay in Touch settings. There's a few ways of accessing this kind of place, but this is probably the easier way. So go to My Settings, then over to Email and click on My Stay in Touch settings. And it opens up an email. And the thing I would do say about this is you can, depending on when you're sending the Stay in Touch request, you can change the text of the email. So sometimes we would send this to all of our contacts at the beginning of January, and we'd say something like, "Hi, as the new year begins, we want to check up that all our data," or whatever you want, "all our data is correct in relation to your organization. Please," and then there's things, "please click the red buttons below to change your details." So you can personalize it in whatever way you want. What you can also do is things like you can put in today's date in it. So up on the top here, where it says contact fields, if you go into user fields, this is a really handy little thing when you're sending emails. Click on user fields, and the field you want is today's date. Okay, so we're going to put in today's date. Today. So whenever you send that, it will automatically be populated with today's date. The Stay in Touch settings at the bottom is your signature. So your user first name is your first name, your user last name is your last name. This pulls from all the details you would have filled into your profile under your personal tab here, under your personal information. Okay. So, sorry, somebody's texting me here. I just turn that down. Also, you can change the subject, so staying in touch or changing your details or help us help you. Okay, so that's where you would actually compose the actual email that goes for the stay in touch. So I'm going to save that for the moment. So how do you send it to someone? So literally you go into your contacts, and I'm going to pick my name. I know I'm here somewhere as a contact, so I want to send it to me, but obviously, there it is, Tricia Owens down here. You can send it to whoever you wish. So you're just literally, you see this button here, Request Update. You literally click on that button, Request Update, okay? And you can see that the email that I actually started to write, it's pulled in today's date, it's pulled in all my signature files, and it's pulled in the email I started to write. "Hi Tricia, as the new year begins, we want to collect the data on your organization. Please click the buttons below." Okay. I'm going to send that now. Okay. And it's just going to take a second. We're going to check my inbox. So it's sending that email directly from Salesforce. It's not come in yet. Sorry. Here we go. So there's the email now, it's come in. And you can see, okay, this is the email, that the text that we wrote in, and this is a kind of a card. This is pulling the person's details directly from Salesforce, okay? So you can either ask the person to type, the person can either take no changes or update now. If they click on update now, and just to say, we've done this a few times and it's been really, really effective, okay? I'm going to change the email address associated with me to Tricia at volunteersouthdublin.ie. Going to leave a message. I'm leaving the organisation in January. I'm not really, folks, promise. Okay, and I'm going to click continue. Okay, and that has now actually changed. That has actually sorry, someone's trying to ring me here. That has sent an email, or that has changed that record in Salesforce directly. What happens is the user, you will get an email to say that person has changed their record, and you get to verify it and accept it. And you'll see the changes that they've made. So just wait and see if that email comes in. It'll take a minute. Okay. I just want to go back to Trisha's record in Salesforce. I'm going to reload this. Hasn't happened yet. So the normal thing, it takes those couple of minutes for something to kind of get back into Salesforce. But what actually happens, and while I'm waiting for that to happen, I'll show you how to do this as a mass email. What normally happens is an email will come back to you. You'll see that the changes have been made. You just click yes, I accept those changes, and the record changes in Salesforce. Okay, what if you wanted to do it? So actually, that's a really... You can set up a parameter within that every time you add a new contact to Salesforce, okay, you can set up a parameter within it that every time you create a new contact, you see it here, that it actually automatically sends it to them. So that when you put a new contact into Salesforce at any stage, it always sends that to the person. They get to actually check that the details that you have for them are correct from the very first get-go, and you can save it. But we're not going to do that. I'm not doing it, but centers can do it if they wish. Okay, what if you wanted to send it to all your contacts? It's a little bit like mass emailing. Now, again, the only issue with this sending it to all your contacts is that Salesforce, I think it only allows you to send it to a group of 500 people in one go. So you'll have to do it by various views, which you'll know how to do anyhow. So here it is under Mass Stay in Touch. You create a new view. So you create a new view. So we're going to call this All Contacts South Dublin. And we'll see. And I'll show you then how it doesn't, when it actually, it doesn't allow you to save it to a mass list. Sorry, folks. Can you see? I'm just having a few kind of things here. Can you still hear me?
I can't unmute her because I don't know where. Yes, we can. Yeah.
Yes, that's fine. Okay, I just thought I'd lost you there for a second. That's fine. Okay, we're going to keep going. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to set up a mailing list. Again, when you're setting up a mailing list, what you want to be really careful of is your parameters, folks. Do you remember, we don't want to send this to all contacts. We only want to send it to contacts within registered organisations. Because when we did that large database cleansing a couple of years ago, or last year, it feels like a couple of years ago, when we did that last database cleansing, we moved lots of national organisations to our general contacts. So we just want to make sure we're only sending it to our contacts whose volunteer bureau equals your volunteer bureau. So volunteer centre. So the parameters are, we want to send it to the organisation whose volunteer bureau equals your centre, okay? South Dublin. And we want the contact type is organisation type equals to registered organisation. Organisation equals registered organisation, okay? I'm going to save that view. Okay, so you see here you're going to get that the view that you specified exceeds the maximum of 250. So we're going to edit the view and we're going to say, and create a date, organisation, contact created date. It's here somewhere, sorry. It shall be found. Created date is greater than, and we'll make it the 01. So what these are 01, 01, 2013. Okay. So I'm now going to call that contacts 1314. So I'll know what it is. Okay. We shouldn't have 250 in that time. Okay, and so therefore we have now got a list of people that we want to send it to. I'm not going to do it, but you click next and it just sends that mass stay in touch that you've composed to all of those people. So all of those people will be able to check their data, see if it's right, and correct it directly into Salesforce. Okay, I just want to go back to, no. Okay, I'm going to do one more, which is I'm going to go back to Tricia Nolan again. I'm going to request another update off of her. I'm going to send it. And this time when it comes in, I'm going to say no changes. Because what happens is you get an email back in relation to that also. So you can see it quickly, so no changes. And literally once no changes is done, you will get an email also to say that there's no changes to this record. Okay. One more time. Send your mass thing. Send. And this time I'm going to request changes. I just want to make sure they're not going in. Yes, they went into junk. I'm really sorry, folks. This is my problem. So this is what happened, okay? It came into my junk mail. I just have to unfilter it. But when the first email was sent to Tricia Nolan, this is the email that you would have received back. Tricia Nolan sent the following contact information. You click update now, okay? And when you go to update the record, it will actually show you in Salesforce. You see here? Previous was tricia7.mac.com, and then you get to accept or reject the changes. Okay, so I'm accepting those changes for Tricia Nolan. So it's as simple as that. Okay, that only took 12 minutes. Is there any questions around, folks? Do you want me to go over it again or anything like that? Please let me know. Silence. Is everybody okay? There's a couple of people typing, so I'll just wait and see. Okay, so it's all good in Wicklow. All good with Anna. All good. That's great. Okay. So, look, if there's any issues with that when you try it out. I mean, like, we started using it here all the time with our own staff, and Deirdre's been using it for data cleansing in terms of, like, just checking in with organisations on a 3-monthly basis. If someone's new or if someone's not answering emails, she sends that stay in touch just to make sure we actually have the right details. But actually, she's found that people answer that much quicker than emails because they just have to press a button and change stuff. Anna's just asking how many requests are you usually getting back. We're finding that we're getting far more people actually responding to that respond to straight emails. Because they realise they just have to click a button. They can see their details are wrong or right, and then they're actually just clicking a button, changing it. And it's actually a really good way of us actually getting our data and our information around organisations clear. The only thing I'd say to you again is just be really careful when you're setting up your parameters for a mass mail. And you know that already. It's kind of bread and butter for us all. But make sure that you set it up for your volunteer centre only, and make sure you set it up for registered organisations rather than sending it to all your general contacts, because the general contacts thing, unless you set up the general contacts with filters on it. Okay? Great stuff, folks. Listen, I've recorded that as well. I know I recorded the last training session. It was just that it was 45 minutes long, and Salesforce only allows me to upload YouTube only allows us to upload 15-minute presentations, so I just have to do some editing on it, which I haven't had a chance to do yet, but I will. Okay, thanks a million, folks, and have a nice Christmas. Bye.
Thanks.
No problem. Cheers, bye.
Bye.
Bye.